May the beautiful angels bless you today, and welcome to Angel's message for you. Before you go about your busy day, I need you to stop and just listen to this for a moment. Something incredible is shifting in your life right now, and if you click away, you might just miss the very sign you have been praying for. Please, stay with me all the way to the end of this message. Do not skip ahead, because what is waiting for you is huge, and it is going to change absolutely everything. Your soulmate is getting ready to come into your life, but for right now, it has to stay a complete secret. While you were just going about your normal routine, running errands, and living your life, a quiet decision was made out there in the universe, and it points directly to you. Your person is taking a step that will completely change the energy around your life. It is a step wrapped in perfect timing and absolute silence. This has to stay a secret because not every beautiful blessing can survive the loud noise of the outside world. Feel that little pause in your chest right now? That is your own anticipation waking up. You can feel it, can't you? Please keep listening. The signs you thought you were just making up, the quiet pauses that made you wonder, the nights where you felt like your story was unfinished. None of those were empty. They were guideposts from the universe. Right now, something amazing is lining up, and it has your name written all over it. Once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. Here is a secret that very few people truly understand. When real destiny moves, it whispers before it speaks out loud. Somewhere out there, someone is watching the clock. They are gathering their courage and practicing words they have never spoken to anyone before. This upcoming visit is not just some casual run-in. It is deeply intentional. It holds the answers you have been looking for but did not quite know how to ask for. The reason it has to remain hidden for just a little bit longer is simple. Distractions delay miracles. If you try to rush the universe, you miss the magic. If you let doubt creep in, it blurs the vision. Stay with me here because you are so much closer than you think. Notice how your heart might feel a little heavier right now, but also super calm at the exact same time. That is your spirit recognizing what is coming. The quiet you feel in your life right now is not an empty space. It is an open doorway. As this whole beautiful journey unfolds, make sure you protect your energy. Not everyone around you needs to know what is building up in your life behind the scenes. This connection is going to show up when you are ready to handle the truth, not when the rest of the world is ready to clap for it. When you finally meet or connect, it might look totally ordinary to anyone else watching, but on the inside, it will be absolutely unforgettable. A simple look will linger just a little longer. A basic word will hit you right in the heart. Time will feel like it just forgot how to move for a second. Hold on to this moment gently. Secrecy is like a shield that protects what is pure and real. When it all happens, you will totally understand why it could not have happened yesterday, and why it was always meant just for you. A beautiful truth is unfolding very quietly, and I know it might be testing your patience today. You might feel a little restless, like something really big is being held back on purpose. Trust me, that feeling is spot on. What is coming your way cannot show up in the middle of drama or chaos. It needs exact precision. Somewhere out there, someone is holding back a message, a plan, or a trip because the timing has to be flawless. Stay till the end, because the secret is not meant to confuse you. It is meant to protect the exact moment when everything finally clicks right into place. The silence you feel right now is not distance. It is preparation. Pay close attention to the little signals popping up in your daily routine. Maybe a sudden memory hits you, or a certain thought keeps looping in your head. Maybe a specific name just crosses your mind without any invitation. These are not just random thoughts. They are echoes of a path that has already been chosen for you. Your soulmate is not lost or wandering around. They are getting aligned with you. They are clearing out roadblocks that you cannot even see right now, making plenty of space so that when they finally step into your life, absolutely nothing gets in the way. This is exactly why it must stay a secret for now. When destiny operates in private, it builds a foundation strong enough to last out in the public eye. Every single delay you ever questioned or cried over was actually a safeguard keeping you protected. Very soon, you are going to feel a sudden wave of calm wash over you, even before anything on the outside actually changes. That feeling of peace is your green light. It means the choice has been finalized. This connection is no longer just a possibility. It is a direction already taken. When it happens, it won't feel super dramatic at first. It will just feel familiar, like an old memory waking up. Keep your heart open and let your expectations quiet down. What is meant for you is sneaking up silently. And when the secret finally comes out into the light, you will realize that this waiting period was actually the most powerful chapter of your entire story. There is a massive shift happening right beneath the surface of your everyday life. It is subtle, but you cannot deny it. You might feel like the days are slowing down or certain thoughts are returning with crystal clear focus. This is not a coincidence. It is pure alignment. The space between you and your soulmate is getting tighter, cutting out all the unnecessary turns. What is coming to you is not in a hurry, because it is meant to arrive completely whole, not halfway done or unsure. Please understand this clearly. The secrecy is not distance. It is pure intention. The person moving toward you is protecting the bond before a single word is even spoken. They are choosing certainty over a quick impulse. That choice is so rare today. It means when they show up, they come with real purpose, not just curiosity. The energy between the two of you is already trading messages, even if words haven't crossed the physical space yet. Soon, you will have a moment that feels oddly important, even if you can't explain why. A pause, a glance, a tiny interaction that just carries so much weight. That is the beginning. Nothing loud, nothing obvious. Just a quiet, deep knowing settling in. Everything that brought you to this exact moment was teaching you how to trust the silence, because the silence knew exactly where to lead you. Something is about to bubble up to the surface, and it will test how well you can trust what you feel inside rather than what you see on the outside. Right now, the universe is quietly moving events around behind the scenes so that one single encounter hits with the absolute best impact. This is not just chance. It is divine choreography. If your gut feeling has been super loud lately, it is because it is picking up on this forward movement. The visit isn't just forming anymore. It is actively approaching. What stays hidden grows strong. And this secret is gathering strength every single second it stays protected. As the big moment gets closer, you might see some random distractions pop up out of nowhere. Old conversations starting back up, sudden doubts, silly worries. Do not let them trip you up. They are just little tests to see if you can stay focused when something truly meaningful is right at your doorstep. Your person is moving carefully, not out of fear, but out of deep care. They are picking the right words, the perfect timing, and the right moments to just be still. This connection does not need a big flashy announcement to be real. It only needs you to be ready, and that readiness is being built inside you right now. Very soon, absolute clarity is going to replace all your curiosity. A peaceful certainty will settle into your bones, and you will just know that the waiting has finally ended. Even if nothing obvious has happened yet, that deep inner knowing is your ultimate confirmation. When the secret finally reveals itself, it will feel totally inevitable, like it could only have ever happened exactly this way. In that beautiful moment, you will understand why patience was asked of you, why the quiet mattered so much, and why this connection could not have arrived any other way. Everything in your world is being gently steered toward one specific point, even if it looks like a regular Tuesday on the surface. You might notice small delays or sudden changes in your plans that seem to pause your day. These are not bad luck or interruptions. They are the universe making quick adjustments. What is meant to meet you cannot miss you, and what is heading your way now is moving with exact precision, not a panicked urgency. There is a huge reason this bond has been kept under wraps for so long. When something carries the power to totally change your emotional direction in life, it arrives without making a bunch of noise. Your soulmate is stepping forward with solid intention, not guessing games. They are choosing to offer you their true presence instead of empty promises. This is not about chasing anybody or trying to prove your worth. It is about soul recognition, the kind that feels so natural, so steady, and completely impossible to ignore once it is right in front of you. Soon, the very air in the room will feel different. Conversations will sound clearer. Your daily decisions will be a total breeze. That is your sign that the spiritual alignment is complete. When it all happens, you will realize the real prize wasn't just the final destination, but the amazing, strong person you turned into while you were waiting. And that version of you is exactly ready for what steps through the door next. The quiet you are feeling today is just the last deep breath before a massive, beautiful shift. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is missing. Everything is just settling into its perfect position. You might feel this weird, unexplained pull toward certain places or times, like an invisible string is tugging at you. Follow it, because that pull is entirely real. What is heading toward you has already chosen you. The rest is just the clock catching up. There is a message coming, and it won't be delivered the way you think. It might be a physical presence instead of a text. It might be a single beautiful moment instead of a grand 5-year plan. When your expectations get quiet, the truth speaks loud and clear. The person heading your way brings pure relief, not a bunch of confusing drama. Very soon, you will look back at this exact phase of your life and realize how perfectly it kept you safe. Every question that went unanswered, every pause, every long stretch of quiet served a higher purpose. When the connection shows its face fully, it won't shock your system. It will just feel right, like something you have known deep in your soul for a lifetime is finally stepping into the light. Something inside you already knows the gap is closing. You might find yourself smiling for absolutely no reason or pausing like you are listening to a song playing far away. That is your awareness tuning in. The moment is sneaking up quietly, without a big parade, without any chaos. What is coming does not need permission from the world. It only needs you to be present enough to open the door when it knocks. There is a beautiful, subtle courage building up on the other side of this connection. Not a loud, reckless bravery, but a measured, steady courage. The kind that chooses what is true over what is easy. They aren't rushing because they want this to be a forever thing, not just a passing moment. The secrecy surrounding all this is not about hiding from you. It is about keeping the purity of the moment safe before outside opinions can ruin it. When two lives align the way yours are about to, you do not need to explain it to anyone. Very soon, something so small will happen that feels unexpectedly huge. A simple back and forth, a brief meeting, a piece of timing that feels way too perfect to ignore. That is your signal. From that point forward, total clarity will wipe out your questions. The waiting will completely make sense, and you will understand that everything was unfolding exactly as it needed to. Silently, intentionally, and always moving right toward you. The atmosphere around you is shifting in a way you couldn't fake if you tried. This is the stage where your destiny moves quietly, but with major impact. You might feel way more aware of your surroundings, super sensitive to the time on the clock, and alert to moments that just feel magical without any logical explanation. That is because the distance between you and your soulmate is now only emotional, not physical. What is approaching has already passed the point of second-guessing. The secret is no longer about if this will happen. It is purely about when. You are being asked to trust this process completely, even without hard proof in your hands. That is tough, I know, but that is exactly why it is so special. The bond forming is unbreakable because it is being built without any pressure. Someone out there is quietly making room for you. They are clearing their schedule, picking out their words, and calming their heart. The silence you feel right now is pure focus. When something is kept safe, it grows perfectly. And that is exactly what is happening for you. Soon, a moment will pop up that feels almost perfectly ordinary, yet it will carry a weight you just cannot brush off. It will feel like coming home, wrapped in a wonderful surprise, just a deep inner knowing that the weather has changed. After that moment, life will go on, but you will be completely different. The secret will slowly loosen its grip. Not all at once, but enough for you to understand that this was never about keeping you in suspense. It was always about timing meeting truth at the exact perfect second. The closer this gets, the more everyday life might try to look as boring and normal as possible. This is by design. Destiny loves to hide in plain sight on a regular day so it can walk right in without any pushback. You might feel a strange mix of absolute peace and butterflies, like something massive is already settled even before it actually happens. That feeling is your soul confirming it. The secret has done its job beautifully. It has protected what is real long enough to get you to this starting line. Now, notice how your old fears are just melting away with zero effort. The doubts that used to keep you up at night just don't matter anymore. Questions that used to be so loud are completely losing their grip on you. This is because clarity is walking right up to your front door. Your soulmate is no longer just dreaming about this. They are taking action. Steady, grounded action. What connects you two is not just curiosity. It is deep recognition. Very soon, something is going to happen that looks like nothing to a stranger, but means the absolute world to you. A timing that feels too perfect. A presence that feels strangely like someone you have known forever. A moment where all the noise inside your head just shuts off. That is how you will know. After that, the secrecy will just dissolve into the wind. Not because it was forced out, but because your connection won't need a shield anymore. And when you look back, you will realize this silence was never empty at all. It was packed with meaning, guiding you directly to where you were always meant to stand. You are standing right at the edge of a wonderful shift where your intuition is finally louder than your logic. Pay attention to how certain moments just seem to slow down in slow motion, how certain positive thoughts keep repeating without you trying. This is the stage where the universe stops dropping little hints and actually starts setting up the meeting. Nothing crazy yet, nothing super obvious, but everything is moving with exact precision. What is moving toward you is already fully committed. It has already been decided. There is a huge reason this feels so different from your past relationships or expectations. It doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't chase you down. It doesn't play confusing games. It just waits until you are both completely ready to embrace the truth without a single ounce of fear. Your person is closer right now than they have ever been. Not just because the physical miles have vanished, but because the spiritual resistance is gone. The secret is still holding on because it just has to cross one final line: your complete and total trust in the journey, even when you can't see the finish line. Soon, something will feel incredibly settled right in your soul before anything changes in your physical world. That is your final sign. When the inner noise fades out, the beautiful reality follows right behind it. From this point forward, nothing in your life is going to feel random anymore. Every little thing will feel intentional, connected, and full of quiet meaning. And when the big moment finally arrives, you won't even question it. You will just welcome it, like it has been sitting there waiting for you all along. You might not realize it today, but you have already crossed an invisible line in the spiritual realm. Things cannot go back to how they were. A choice has been made, a new direction has been set, and you are the main character in it. The waiting you feel today is not an empty room. It is the final deep breath before the big jump. A calm, beautiful confidence is starting to replace all your old uncertainties. When something is truly aligned for you, it does not arrive like a tornado of chaos. It arrives with pure clarity. Your soulmate isn't questioning the path anymore. They are walking it quietly and intentionally. The secrecy is still there just because the moment ahead needs to be completely untouched, free from other people's expectations and free from outside drama. Very soon, your reality is going to perfectly match what your gut has been preparing you for all along. A meeting, a message, a beautiful moment that feels brand new but also like you've lived it 1,000 times before. When it happens, you will totally understand why everything had to go down the way it did. The silence, the patience, the blind trust, they were never meant to punish or delay you. They were building the rock-solid foundation for the rest of your life. The air around you feels so much steadier now. That steadiness is no accident. It means the final tweaks are done. Nothing else needs to change. Nothing else needs to be put on hold. What is heading your way doesn't need preparation anymore. It just needs your presence. This is why you might feel more grounded right now than super emotional, more certain rather than endlessly curious. That amazing balance is the universe telling you the alignment is finished. A quiet certainty is blooming right in the spot where all your anxious questions used to live. You aren't desperately searching anymore. You are simply allowing. And on the exact opposite side of this connection, the exact same shift is happening for them. Your soulmate is moving forward with crystal clarity, not just wishful thinking. Wishful thinking just waits around. Clarity actually takes action. The secret is still there, but it feels so much lighter now, like a flower that is just about ready to open all on its own without anyone forcing the petals. Soon, something is going to happen that proves everything to you without a single explanation needed. No huge billboard announcement, no dramatic movie reveal, just a sweet moment that settles deep in your heart and never leaves. From that day forward, your outer life might look the same to the cashier at the grocery store, but inwardly, a massive door will have swung wide open. And once you walk through that door, you will understand that this whole crazy journey was just guiding you, step by step, toward a love that could only arrive when you were finally truly ready. What is happening in your life right now is subtle, but it is permanent. You are stepping into a beautiful phase where things don't feel confusing anymore, just a little unfinished. And that difference is huge. Unfinished just means the absolute best part is on its way. Confusing means something is wrong. My friend, absolutely nothing is wrong here. The path ahead of you is narrowing, not closing. When a path narrows, it means it is leading you somewhere very specific. And that beautiful destination is getting closer with every quiet tick of the clock. There is a magical feeling of inevitability starting to settle into your bones. It isn't pressure. It isn't anxiety. It is total certainty. This is exactly how real, once-in-a-lifetime connections announce themselves before they walk into the room. Your person is no longer just daydreaming about the moment you meet. They are getting ready to step right into it, carefully and with so much respect for you. The secrecy still matters for a little bit longer because once that first real truth is spoken out loud, everything changes forever. And when change is this real and this good, it deserves to arrive in peace, without any background noise. Very soon, you will notice how all the resistance in your life just completely vanishes. Things that felt like carrying a boulder yesterday will feel as light as a feather today. Big decisions will be incredibly obvious. This is the universe's sign that the alignment has hit its final stage. When the moment finally blossoms, you won't even feel shocked. You will just feel ready. And feeling that ready is all the proof you need that the waiting, the quiet days, and the blind trust were never tests to break you down. They were the training ground, preparing you for exactly what is about to step quietly into your life and stay for good. Truth no longer needs flashy signs to announce that it is here. You might feel a really unusual sense of peace mixed with a sharp alertness, like a huge deal has already been signed and sealed. That feeling is 100% accurate. What is approaching you has crossed the final hurdle. The secret is holding strong, not because it needs to hide in the dark anymore, but because it is just waiting for the exact perfect second to slide into your life without any friction. Notice how life just feels a little softer and quieter around you lately? Fewer emotional roller coasters, way less urgency. This is not you being empty or bored. It is you being aligned. Your soulmate isn't asking the universe questions about you anymore. They are physically making space for you. Space in their daily thoughts, space in their busy schedule, space in their heart's intention. When someone starts making room for you without even being asked, it means they already know exactly what belongs there. This connection doesn't require exhausting effort anymore. It is coasting on pure certainty. Soon, you are going to experience a moment that feels so deeply personal, yet wonderfully simple. Nothing dramatic, no loud megaphone declarations, just a warm feeling of, wow, this is really it. That magical moment won't ask you for a resume or demand a bunch of explanations. It will just settle inside your soul as naturally as walking through your own front door. When it happens, you will finally get why the secrecy was needed, why patience was your best friend, and why this could only ever unfold exactly right now. From that point on, your love story doesn't need to rush. It just gets deeper. And what starts out quietly will prove to be strong enough to weather any storm. Everything you have been sensing in your gut is starting to validate itself. The leftover uncertainty is thinning out like morning fog, replaced by a quiet, beautiful readiness. You might feel way more grounded in the present moment than usual, super aware of timing, and deeply connected to your own gut instincts. This is the phase where destiny officially stops testing you and actually starts delivering. Not with a loud bang, but with perfect, loving precision. Your person is no longer standing on the edge of the diving board trying to decide if they should jump. They have already taken the leap internally, and the physical world is just rushing to catch up. This is exactly why your soul feels so settled before anything even happens. True spiritual alignment always arrives like this. First it happens on the inside, and then it perfectly reflects on the outside. The secrecy that wrapped around this connection has kept it safe long enough to reach this beautiful moment where it can totally stand on its own 2 feet without anyone messing it up. Very soon, An interaction is going to happen that shifts your entire view of the future. It might be quick, but it will be incredibly decisive. A specific look, a thoughtful word, a shared moment of comfortable silence that says way more than a 3-hour conversation ever could. After that happens, you won't spend another second wondering. You will just know. And that knowing will feel calm, steady, and rock solid. Like the beautiful answer you were never even chasing, finally showing up right when you were perfectly ready to receive it. You are standing in a wonderful space right now where waiting doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It feels deeply purposeful. Pay attention to that because it is so important. When your anxiety turns into calm anticipation, it means the beautiful outcome has already been secured for you. The energy surrounding you isn't asking questions anymore. It is handing you the answers. What used to feel a million miles away now feels completely inevitable, like a door that is already unlocked and just waiting for you to turn the handle. The connection moving toward you isn't running on impulsive fantasy. It is deeply grounded, totally deliberate, and incredibly real. Your soulmate is walking into this moment with complete clarity, not a messy head full of confusion. They aren't wondering if they should reach out. They are entirely focused on how to step into your life in a way that truly respects and honors exactly what this connection is. This is exactly why everything feels so much quieter now. Noise always fades away when the truth takes the wheel. Very soon, you are going to notice how beautifully and naturally things just fall right into place. No forcing puzzle pieces together, no chasing anyone down. Just perfect alignment revealing itself through timing that feels almost like a movie script in its precision. When the moment finally opens up, you won't feel overwhelmed or panicked. You will feel incredibly steady. And in that beautiful steadiness, you will clearly see the difference between a fleeting, exciting spark and a warm fire that is actually meant to last a lifetime. What is coming is not a firework that explodes and fades into the dark. It is a comforting presence that settles in, unpacks its bags, and beautiful changes the entire trajectory of your life without ever needing to shout about it. There is a quiet, powerful confidence settling right into your spirit right now, and I promise you, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It came directly from your spiritual alignment wrapping up its work. You might feel way less anxious about where your future is heading, way less obsessed with looking for signs, and way less stressed about when it is all going to happen. That specific shift in your mindset is massive. It means the moment no longer relies on your constant anticipation to exist. What is moving toward you is already locked in and secure. The distance between you and your person isn't measured in miles or time zones anymore. It is strictly measured in readiness, and my friend, that readiness has officially been reached. This beautiful connection is stepping out of the dream world and directly into your waking reality. Not with a dramatic crash, not with a sudden jolt, but steadily, gracefully, in a way that feels so entirely natural and completely undeniable. When a love is real, it does not ever need to rush. It simply arrives when both of your souls can look at it and recognize it without an ounce of fear. Soon, there will be a specific moment that shifts your entire world very quietly. A simple, beautiful occurrence that changes exactly how you view your tomorrow. You won't need to run to your friends for validation or ask anyone else for their opinion. The knowing will live entirely inside of you, and it will be completely whole. From that beautiful moment forward, you will truly understand that this long journey was never about desperately chasing down a promise. It was always about becoming the person who was ready to receive a true presence. And now, that presence is closer than it has ever been, walking toward you with total certainty, pure intention, and a calming energy that tells you it is absolutely here to stay. There is a wonderful sense of completion wrapping around you right now, even if not a single word has been spoken out loud yet. This is the magical intersection where all the preparation ends and the real presence begins. You might feel remarkably grounded today, as if your future is no longer a big scary question mark, but a clear, brightly lit path. What is approaching your life has already swept away every single internal doubt. The secret is still holding on, but now it feels like a very intentional, loving choice rather than a spooky mystery. It feels like a beautiful pause chosen with profound purpose. Pay close attention to how your emotions have really stabilized lately. The high moments are calmer, and the low moments don't last nearly as long. This is no accident. It means the connection drawing near isn't coming to shake up your peace and create chaos. It is arriving to perfectly match the peace you have built. Your soulmate isn't showing up to change a single thing about who you are. They are showing up because exactly who you are today is completely ready for them. This is the kind of divine alignment that never demands a shred of proof, because it carries its own deep sense of certainty right along with it. Soon, you are going to notice a shift that feels incredibly final, in the absolute best way imaginable. Something deep inside your chest will finally relax, like you just gently closed a very long, very exhausting chapter of a book. No rushing, no stress, just pure, beautiful clarity. When the moment unfolds, it will not feel like a shock to your system. It will feel like a massive confirmation from the universe. And in that quiet, beautiful confirmation, you will realize that all the hard times before this weren't just running you around in circles. They were guiding you so steadily and patiently, directly to this exact spot. You are now living in a phase where life is starting to respond to you in a completely different way. Notice how things just flow with so much less resistance now. Casual conversations feel lighter, and good timing just seems to favor you in small, wonderful ways throughout the day. That isn't just blind luck. That is your alignment showing off. What is coming toward you isn't unsure of itself anymore. It is perfectly synchronized with the amazing person you are becoming. There is a quiet, profound understanding growing between you and your soulmate right this very second. Even if you haven't stood face to face yet, true soul understanding doesn't need a dictionary of words to exist. It forms the second two paths completely agree on the same beautiful direction. Your person isn't sitting around wondering where you fit into their world anymore. They know, and that knowing is steady, grounded, and stronger than fleeting emotions. The secrecy surrounding this bond right now feels like deep respect, not an annoying delay. It is respect for a beautiful moment that absolutely deserves to arrive completely whole and untainted. Very soon, a perfectly simple action is going to carry incredibly deep meaning for you. It might look totally ordinary to anyone walking past on the street, but inside your soul, it is going to register as the ultimate turning point. After that moment, the heavy feeling of anticipation is going to be completely replaced by the joy of presence. You will no longer be getting ready for your life to start. You will actually be living right inside the blessing that has already begun. And in that breathtaking realization, you will finally understand that this long, crazy journey was never about reaching a final ending. It was about stepping through the door into the beautiful beginning you were always meant for. You have arrived at a place where exhausting effort is no longer required, only a joyful awareness. The heavy blanket of waiting that used to follow you everywhere has softened into a beautiful presence. This is exactly how you know something totally real is right around the corner. When true destiny is close, it stops making loud, confusing noise and starts creating crystal clear clarity. What used to keep you up at night with uncertainty now feels incredibly settled, even before it fully steps into the physical light. There is a profound, protective calm surrounding this connection because it isn't under construction anymore. It is completely ready. Your soulmate isn't tiptoeing toward you with a bunch of questions or hesitation. They are walking toward you with a certainty that has already been battle-tested in the silence. This is exactly why the secret is still holding tight. Not every meaningful, beautiful thing in your life needs to be fully explained before you get to live it. The quiet space between you and what is coming is not a gap of distance. It is pure respect for a magical moment that deserves to arrive totally untouched by the world. Very soon, you are going to notice how naturally and beautifully things just start to unfold for you. No more pushing a heavy boulder up a hill. No more obsessively trying to decode hidden signs. Just a perfect timing that feels incredibly exact. When the big moment finally becomes visible to you, it will not feel like destiny rushing in to save the day in a panic. It will feel like destiny gently, lovingly stepping right up beside you. And in that beautiful stillness, you will understand that everything you ever went through wasn't just preparing you for a quick thrill. It was preparing you for something far more powerful. A real, deep connection that walks in quietly, settles deep into your life, and stays forever without ever needing to promise you a single thing. This is the beautiful moment where deep understanding completely replaces all your nervous anticipation. You might feel a profound inner stillness that definitely wasn't there last month, almost as if your heart already knows exactly what happens in the next chapter. That stillness isn't you being empty. It is pure certainty taking deep root in your soul. When clarity shows up before the actual events do, it means the universe has already stamped and approved the final outcome. What is coming to you doesn't need to prove its worth anymore. It simply just needs to arrive. Notice how your daily attention is naturally shifting completely away from fear and moving straight toward living in the present moment. You aren't sitting around imagining 100 stressful what-ifs anymore. You are becoming entirely ready for the beautiful reality. Your soulmate is not walking toward you with a single ounce of hesitation. They are walking toward you with pure recognition. And true recognition doesn't need to shout its name through a megaphone. It just settles in quietly, and it stays. The secrecy surrounding this amazing connection feels so natural to you now, almost comforting, because you finally understand that what is kept protected always grows the strongest. Nothing that is rushed ever survives the test of time, and absolutely no patience is ever wasted. Very soon, a beautiful, simple moment is going to happen that brings this entire picture into crystal clear focus. It will feel so gentle, almost ordinary, yet it is going to change exactly how you view the entire road ahead of you. After that moment happens, you will never spend another second wondering what all this hardship and waiting was actually for. You will feel deeply anchored instead of endlessly searching. And in that beautiful, grounded feeling, you will realize that this connection was never supposed to crash into your life like a dramatic movie scene. It was meant to arrive correctly, quietly, clearly, and at the exact perfect point in your life where you were finally, truly ready to welcome it home. You have officially reached a point where absolutely nothing needs to be chased anymore. What belongs to you is already in motion, and it knows exactly where it needs to go. The exhausting restlessness you used to feel has beautifully softened into an open readiness. And let me tell you, that change matters more than you could ever know. This is the phase of your life where destiny stops testing your patience and finally starts rewarding your blind trust. The secret has been held just long enough to mature into something incredibly solid and wonderfully real. Now, just take a second to observe how your inner world feels so much steadier, so much less reactive to the little annoyances of the day. That new stability isn't just a random good mood. It means the beautiful connection approaching you isn't coming to disrupt your peaceful balance. It is coming to perfectly meet it. Your person isn't standing far away anymore, scratching their head and wondering what might happen between you two. They are moving with pure intention, guided by a deep clarity that was built so quietly, step by step, over time. When two people arrive at that level of absolute certainty completely on their own, their final meeting becomes an inevitable, beautiful reality rather than a dramatic collision. Soon, there will be a moment that just feels unmistakably, undeniably right. Even if it looks like the most simple thing in the world on the outside, you won't need to look for signs in the clouds or ask for reassurance from anyone. The knowing is going to be instant, and it will be complete. From that beautiful moment forward, the secrecy will just naturally begin to fade away into the background. Not because it was forced to come out, but because your love won't need that protective shield anymore. And when you look back at all of this, you will understand that this entire spiritual journey was never about keeping you in painful suspense. It was always about perfect timing, divine alignment, and a real connection arriving at the exact right time so that it could truly last forever. You are standing on the beautiful threshold right now where hard endings quietly and gracefully turn into the most amazing beginnings. You might be feeling a really strange, wonderful sense of peace mixed with a sharp alertness, almost like a huge victory has already been decided for you without you having to lift a finger. That feeling is 100% real. The journey that used to feel so scary and uncertain has now completely narrowed into one clear, beautifully lit direction, and it is moving right toward you with absolute certainty. What is meant to arrive in your life isn't hesitating anymore, because every single lesson it needed to learn has already been deeply understood. Just notice how your daily reactions have changed lately. You are way less easily pulled down by doubt, way less shaken up by the silent days. This is because the connection approaching you doesn't feed on frantic urgency. It thrives on peaceful steadiness. Your soulmate is no longer getting ready from a distance. They are aligning with you in real time right this very second. The secret has become so much lighter now, almost totally transparent. That is because the absolute truth is finally close enough for you to breathe it in. When something is truly, divinely aligned for you, it does not need to rush out into the open to prove itself. It reveals itself totally naturally, at the exact perfect pace that keeps the foundation unbreakable. Very soon, you are going to experience a moment that feels so quietly, perfectly decisive. No big booming announcement, no dramatic shift in the sky, just a deep, beautiful inner recognition that the absolute best chapter of your life has officially begun. After that moment, the exhausting feeling of waiting will completely vanish from your life. You will feel totally present instead of always expecting the next shoe to drop, beautifully grounded instead of frantically searching. And in that wonderful stillness, you will completely realize that everything you went through wasn't leading you toward another confusing question. It was leading you directly toward a beautiful answer that arrives calmly, clearly, and with the full, loving intention to remain by your side. You are officially standing at the edge of total realization rather than anxious expectation. What used to feel like a distant dream now feels close enough to sense without even having to open your eyes. This is not just your imagination running wild. It is pure, divine alignment completely finishing its work. The quiet wrapping around your life right now is so intentional, creating the perfect space for a moment that absolutely needs calm in order to be fully and beautifully received. Nothing else in your life has to change. Everything completely necessary has already been perfectly set in place for you. There is a beautiful softness entering your daily awareness, a much gentler, kinder way of looking at your own future. This is exactly what happens when something totally real is no longer just a maybe. Your soulmate is no longer preparing in the shadows. They are completely ready to step right into your presence. The secrecy surrounding this beautiful bond now feels almost complete, like a chapter of a really good book about to turn all on its own. When the truth is this close, it doesn't need to sprint. It arrives with gorgeous steadiness and crystal clear clarity. Soon, the very moment you have been sensing in your heart will arrive without any loud announcement. It will feel incredibly natural, almost simple, yet deeply, profoundly grounding for your soul. After that, your life won't suddenly feel louder or moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It will just feel clearer. You will no longer be sitting around obsessively anticipating what comes next, because you will actually be standing right inside the blessing. And in that beautiful, calm realization, you will finally understand that this was never really about just waiting for someone to show up. It was always about becoming totally ready to recognize them when they finally did. This is the exact moment where true knowing completely replaces all your wandering and wondering. The road ahead doesn't feel scary or uncertain anymore, because it isn't under construction. It is right here, paved and ready. You might sense a really quiet, beautiful completeness today, as if something you have anticipated for a lifetime has gently, lovingly arrived without making a single sound. What was once heavily protected by silence has finally reached the beautiful point where it can exist totally naturally, without exhausting effort, and completely without fear. The secret has done its job perfectly. Now, absolutely everything feels simpler. Not because your life suddenly has fewer questions, but because the absolute right answer has finally walked into the picture. Your person is no longer approaching you from a distance. They are present in your reality, even if it feels just a little subtle at first. This beautiful connection doesn't demand your frantic attention. It lovingly earns it. It settles into your world quietly, perfectly aligning with your life instead of rudely interrupting it. What is totally real never has to rush, and what is truly meant for you never has to struggle to stay. From this day forward, you are going to notice how beautifully and naturally things continue to grow. No dramatic, scary shifts. No sudden, confusing noise. Just a deep, beautiful sense of rightness that remains with you day after day. The long journey that began in total silence now continues in bright, beautiful clarity. And when you finally look back on all of this, you will completely understand that every single pause, every quiet, lonely moment, and every unanswered question was gently guiding you right here. Not to an ending, but to the most beautiful beginning that arrives calmly, stays steadily, and feels exactly like coming home the very second it begins. Amen.